If you want to scale to 7 figures without burning out, this video is going to absolutely blow your mind. I'm going to share with you what I've learned after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on client success systems and processes, after having generated millions of dollars of online coaching myself over the last few years, having some decent months here and there, and after having 1,230 successful payments, only 4 disputes. 2 of those were from the same person, so really only 3 clients out of three clients out of that, with a 0.33 dispute rate, that means 1 out of every 300 people are not satisfied, which I'd say is a pretty damn good number. And we've generated literally thousands of results at this point. You can go on my Instagram at Jeremy_Pogue and see, and it's exhausting just scrolling through all these client results highlights. And if we open one, it might take a second to load here, but you'll see the number of actual slides in each one. And the reason I'm bringing this up is to prove to you that I'm not just another jackass pulling shit out of thin air, and I've actually gone through the trenches and done the work and ate a lot of shit to figure out everything I'm going to share with you today. And like I said, you can scroll through all of these. It can be exhausting, I know. You can also check out my client success stories playlist on YouTube, where I've got 53 videos in there right now of interviews with successful clients, helping them. Like Tom hit 100K a month, Peyton hit 100K a month, Adrian hit 80, Chris hit 100, and you get the point. So I'm going to break down all of literally everything I've learned about client success and how I've built my entire program, a lot of the principles behind why we do what we do, and again, the systems and the CRM that we use, and the program itself, and how I work with the CSM. So there's going to be a lot. I'm going to break it down into step number 1, going over the funnel here. Step number 2, the client journey and experience right here, and show you behind the curtains exactly what it looks like on my side as we go through, and help you understand why we built it this way and some of the lessons that I learned painfully along the way. I'm going to share the CRM third, and then the fourth, go over the course, and then coaching, community, and client experience. And so if you want to actually make 7 figures a year and beyond without sacrificing client results, then you're going to get a lot of value from this video. And make sure you grab your notebook and take some notes. It's going to be a banger. And if you do decide to that you are tired of messing around and stuff like that, you can either book in a call down below, chat with us, or just message me here on Instagram at Jeremy_Pogue and bring your credit card, and let's fucking go. So anyways, let's get into the video. So if we look at the funnel, this is the scaling funnel. I think I might rebrand it to the flow funnel, because it really just helps you add a lot of flow and reduce a lot of friction into your business. Because if you really think about it, the reason why most people stay stuck with their coaching business is they're doing everything manual. They're doing everything themselves. They don't have any leverage. And so the key to scaling is leverage, right? 1 input in, 10 inputs or 10 outputs out, or 100 or 1,000, right? And so that's how you multiply yourself and multiply your results. That's how you make more money, sign more clients, get more results without working more yourself. And so I'll break it all down right now, and then go into how I built this funnel, and then how I built my entire client success pipeline and journey, and my client success CRM as well. And then how I built my program around that too, to make it just absolutely dialed in. Because one of the things that I hate is really long courses where you're watching 2-hour-long videos, or Zoom call recordings, and you do that for weeks without actually taking any action. It's just an information overloaded dump on you, and it absolutely sucks. And people hate that too. And so every time I've rebuilt the course, it's kind of been I think I'm on my 5th iteration now since starting this 2.5 years ago. I condense it, and I actually remove more and more stuff. And I'll get into this in a minute when I touch on the course actually, and I'll show you kind of what it is on the inside, and it'll help you understand a lot more. So this video is gonna be really good for seeing what actual systems for client success looks like, and a lot of the beliefs and the mindset and the principles that go into building an exceptional program that gets insane results like these and all of these. And again, literally just go here, swipe. It's exhausting swiping through, and then when you actually click on them and look at them, it's pretty disgusting too. But regardless, if you want to have exceptional client results, then this is going to be phenomenal. But also it'll give you a kind of behind the scenes look into what it's actually going to be like if you do end up working with us and going through the program as a client. And then like, yeah, we can help you dial in all this stuff as well. So that said, let's rock and roll. So when it comes to your funnel, I like to break down in 4 different stages, right? We have the top of your funnel is where you get leads. This is your traffic mechanism. And middle of the funnel is your nurture or lead mechanism. So where you turn those strangers into actual potential clients, and then you turn those potential clients into actual clients with the bottom of the funnel, right? So your leads go from cold to warm to hot, and then to clients. And then down here is where we actually deliver. And so, yes, you can do organic if you absolutely hate your life and you are addicted to suffering and struggling and you are just like so against being successful and having fun while you do it. You can listen to organic marketing coaches who are going to tell you that they're going to help you scale by just helping you go viral. I might be a little biased, but I think they're full of shit because it's unpredictable. It's inconsistent. You have no control over what video is going to pop off. And then let's say it does pop off. What? You get thousands of unqualified creatures from the depths of the internet that can't afford your high ticket coaching program. And then it clogs your sales pipeline. And I've actually had clients that go through it. They do that. And then they literally go viral and then their business tanks because there's way too many unqualified leads and they can't sift through to find the good ones. Or even like Adrian, for example, he actually scaled to, I think 78K a month is his record so far. But he was stuck at 20K a month for 5 years doing organic, listening to organic marketing coaches. And then literally after a few months of launching ads, hiring a setter, he went from 20K a month to nearly 80K a month and almost 4x his business, just by not trying to go viral anymore. Same kind of thing like with Adrian and like Nick, and yeah, you get the point. So anyways, run ads. They're going to be the best thing. You literally make one ad one time and then you launch it and it just crushes. For example, like Tom, one ad got him from $0 to $100,000 a month. One single ad. It was our first ad we ever made together and it just absolutely cranked, which is pretty nuts. Very like, don't expect that. Some people crush on their first try. Some people it takes a whole bunch of tries, right? So I want to set proper expectations. And then you can also get YouTube organic traffic too. But the most reliable and predictable one is going to be from ads. This is where we can control who's coming in by what we say in the ad. And then from there, we build up our audience and then we hit them with retargeting ads, video sales letter, and content to nurture them, to get them to know, like, and trust us. And then we have a call to action, inviting them into the sales conversation, have a call with them, or sell by chat, whatever, and then make your offer. Most high tickets are like 3 to 10K. If we work with clients kind of on the beginner range, we don't work with total beginners. Like you gotta be doing at least like 5K a month to work with us. But some people in the earlier stages charge a little bit less, and we help them raise the prices and ramp things up. And then, yeah, I'll be covering the onboarding process, our course, community coaching calls, and all of that too. And then these are just kind of key people you need to hire at each stage to delegate. So I like to automate, then delegate, or I like to eliminate shit and then automate, then delegate it. So that way we can grow the business without working harder or working more, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to do that. People just want to make more money and work less. And that's what leverage is going to do. And the best way to do that is ads, really good intentional content, video sales letter, targeting ads, and then hire a setter, pack your sales calendar until you can't take any more sales calls. And then you hire a closer, get out of there too. And then you have way too many clients. You're making too much money. You're drowning in cash, and you have to hire a CSM. And I'll touch on that too. Like I'll share with you my CSM scorecard, how I pay them, and all that kind of stuff too, to make sure incentives are aligned. So that's kind of an overview of the funnel. One really important thing to understand too is like to make your program as good as possible, you have to like qualify. You can't just work with anybody and everybody. I've made that mistake before. One of those disputes was from a client who was like a total beginner, and this is a hard lesson that you got to learn. You got to learn how to say no to money and how to pass tests and not fail them. And so we took someone on who had their credit card, they're ready to pay, and we're like, screw it, let's do it. And then they just had so many more problems, and our program wasn't really meant for them. And so that was our mistake, and it sucked, right, for everybody, because we wasted their time. Now they have a bad experience, bad taste in their mouth, and that's not good for our reputation. And yeah, it's not good, right? So anyways, you want to make sure. So with that, like some of our qualifications, like you got to be doing 5K a month. You got to have at least 3 like verifiable case studies and results to show that you're actually good at what you do. We don't want to help people blow up their business in the best way possible if they're not actually good and they don't serve the world and actually help people. Another thing that we've done before too, again, we don't do this anymore. We learned some pretty hard lessons with that, is we don't work with anyone who does what we do, right? So anyone that works with coaches, I don't want to coach coaches that coach other coaches. I want to coach coaches who are phenomenal at what they do. They're great coaches, but they're horrible marketers and salespeople, right? Those are my best clients. They're the most fun to work with. Like you be an exceptional fitness coach or leadership coach, or leadership coach, fitness coach. He's a music coach. Yeah, you get the point, right? Stock trading coach, pain, like injury free coach, music coach, fitness coach, B2C car flipping coach. He actually hit 100K a month, which is sick. Danielle's a career coach. Dylan's a dating coach. Juan's a learning coach. Eric's a guitar coach. Jacob helps people fly drones and make money. Like super cool. So they're all really good at what they do and what they coach on, but not so great at the marketing and the business side of things. And that's what we help them do. And so, yeah, those are our best clients. And so the reason we have like the 5K a month floor as well is because like after working with 500 plus clients, I was like, who are the clients that get the best results in the shortest amount of time, the least amount of my individual effort and time? And it was the ones that weren't total beginners, that had proof of concept. They were good at what they do. So they're like confident, and that confidence translates into their content, their sales calls, their program, all that kind of stuff. And so they would get way better results much quicker when we just like dial in their ads and solve their qualified lead flow problem, turn those leads into like hot leads, and then turn those hot leads into calls and sales. Then they would just absolutely explode. And so I was like, okay, I just want to optimize for more of those. And so that's what we did. So good action step from this video would be to get clear on like who your dream client is, right? Who gets the best results in the shortest amount of time and pays the most amount of money too. That was a big one, because we're not cheap, right? Right now the program is $9,800, and so it's definitely not inexpensive. I understand it's painful for some people. However, like people under 5K a month, like they can't really afford it, and so we kind of qualify out a little bit that way too. But the people who are actually serious about it and committed, like they're willing to do whatever it takes. I remember a story guy when I used to be, before starting Summit 2.5 years ago, I used to be a media buyer, a sales rep, and a client success manager for another coaching business. Helped me go from like 40K a month to 220 in like 7-8 months. And one of the clients there, like, dude, literally had a sales call. He's like, I need this. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to change my life. And so literally he sold his motorcycle, put all of the money, I think it was like 5K or something like that, put all of the 5K from his motorcycle into the program, and then built like a $30,000-$40,000 a month business from there. And like, that was a pretty good decision for him to do that, right? It paid off really well. Also, if you see behind me, I'm in my new home office, bought a condo a few months ago, and just got the background all dialed in and whatnot, but this light's not on because I forgot to plug it in, and it was flashy and stuff like that. So you're gonna have to deal with that. I'm not perfect, and it's kind of funny. So anyways, you have to put up with that, but cool. So now that we covered the funnel, let's talk about the client journey. So one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn, not had to learn, but one of the biggest lessons that I did learn when it comes to client success is like, at first you can be pretty scrappy, but it comes to a point where like, you can't just keep letting people slip through the cracks. You have to build systems and be more process dependent instead of people dependent. So that's where this comes in, right? And I'll touch on this step by step here too. And every time, like as I'm explaining this and our CRM and the course, all of it refers back to this funnel, right? We start at the top of the funnel and work our way down and solve one bottleneck at a time. So we start with getting the leads going literally in the first week. We get our ads cranking and leads coming in week 1. And then from there, and obviously it depends on how fast our clients move, like how fast they can record the ads and whatnot, right? But at least from our side, we get that pretty dialed in. And people come to me because they want more better leads. And so I solve that for them immediately. That's the first thing we do, right? And if we look at the course, it's like, welcome, start here. There's like just some like expectations, and then foundations. We go overview the funnel on a much deeper level. Godmo marketing. This is like content strategy and how to build like a cult-like audience, basically, in a good way, not the creepy way. Offer optimization, that's dialing your messaging, getting clear on who are we speaking to, how are we speaking to them, and then top of funnel, scripting ads. One thing that's really cool too is I built an AI bot that's trained up on my best performing ads and like probably like 30 to 50 of my clients' best performing ads. And you just plug in your answers from the worksheet in offer optimization into the AI bot, and then it scripts out ads for you. It comes up with like 10 different hooks and like a bunch of different variations of them and whatnot. So like it's so sick. It's pretty cool. And so that's a huge resource for a lot of our clients. And then literally from there, we go top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and then bottom of the funnel. And it's super straightforward. But as you can see, like there's not many videos. And I'll touch on that right now too, actually. Like I mentioned earlier where it's like, I hate sitting through like a 2-hour long video. I don't know if I just have like wicked ADHD or something like that. I don't know. But I don't like just sitting down watching a 2-hour long video and then watching like 40 other ones or like Zoom call recordings. Like it's not fun. And so I don't learn that way. I don't enjoy it. It's not a good experience. And so every time I've rebuilt the program, I actually remove stuff. So recently I just redid the ads training, and it used to be like 3 or 4 videos that were like 20 to 40 minutes each. And then now I literally just cut it down to like a 20 something minute video, and it's got everything just dialed in. 3 different types of ads, examples of clients' ads, ripping them. Like it's so good now. And as a result, I see on my one-on-one launch calls with my clients, and I'll touch on that in a sec too, to show you like exactly what you get, what we deliver. But on those calls, like people are coming like super prepared. They got everything dialed in. They're using AI scripter and then also the other stuff. And it's like, they're so efficient. And so that's super cool. That's an example of like eliminate, delegate. So I tried to automate things before I delegate them. And so what used to take me 60 minutes on a one-on-one onboarding call or a launch call, now it only takes like 25 minutes because I automated with a better course video and an AI scripter to help my clients with their ads. So it's super, super helpful, and it saves them a lot of time too. So it's a huge win-win. So anyways, that said, this is what it looks like. So we kind of mapped this out, just like, okay, what does like an ideal client experience and client journey look like? So deal close, CRM, we drag them into, I won't show you the sales pipeline right now, but we do have a sales pipeline. And then we drag them into like deal closed, and then it automatically sends them the contract. We give them access to school where we host the course, give them access to Slack, where we have our community. You can see right here, little 8K day for Adrian. That's Adrian right here, this guy. Anyways, and so this is where we host the community, stuff like that. Right now, as you can see, got lots of people crushing it, which is dope. I don't love the community aspect on school, so we literally don't use it. We just use the classroom and the calendar and stuff in school because I just like how simple it is. But I find Slack's just a lot more like intimate and just a lot more personable and like more, I don't know, just a much better experience overall. Feels a lot more exclusive and like higher perceived value. So that's why we have the separation there. And then we add them to the client success pipeline. Cool. And then from there, when the deal closer verifies the agreement signed, join school, and they're in Slack. So we want to make sure once they pay that they get access to everything they paid for, and they can start going through it right away, because time to value is extremely important. You want to minimize and shrink the time to value. And so they paid for a program. You want to give that to them immediately. So we want to make sure, okay, did they sign the agreement? Yep. Join school? Yep. Join Slack? Yep. Cool. Right. And if they don't, then make them because they're paying for it. Right. And they'll waste, like, we don't want them to waste our time having to chase after them to get them onboarded. Like, that's a red flag from a client. They should be wanting to do that themselves, right? Cool. And then we actually have an onboarding form too. So I'll have to update this, but they complete that. And then just got the next steps, complete the first few modules. Cool. Do they understand it? Yes. Cool. And the sales call, usually they're like 45, 60 minutes. And like I said, we DM close a lot of people too. And so they just watch a lot of the content. They're tired of wasting time. They're committed and they're ready to rock. So then they just message me on Instagram. They're like, dude, send the payment link. Let's crank it. And so then I just onboard them that way. And then boom, update the sales tracking sheet on our side. So we update like notes from the call, just so we have like a spreadsheet, and then also put that in the CRM too. And then it updates that. So we know kind of like what payment plan options there are, any other notes that are important, stuff like that. So it helps us with kind of the handoff and the handshake from sales to client success. And then from there, the closer welcomes the new client into Slack. So we're like, hey, welcoming this client, boom, boom, boom. And then also when we update the CRM, they enter the client success pipeline and the renewal pipeline, because our program's 16 weeks. And this was a very painful lesson that I learned last year, towards the end of it. Like, I used to wake up with like 70 Slack messages every day, and it was living hell, because there were clients that I signed like 2 years ago that were still in Slack and still in the community and still reaching out, messaging me one-on-one, even after like I think originally it was like 6 months, and then I closed it down to, or shortened it down to 4 months. But then people were still like a year later, reaching out one-on-one for help, and it just wasn't scalable with hundreds of people in there. And so now we have a renewal pipeline. So like we actually can track, I'll just show you actually, how long people have been in the program for, right? So 1 week, 2 weeks, 3, 4, 2 months, 3 months, and then boom, boom, boom. And then it shows us like how long they've been in and stuff like that too. And so this helps us get a really clear idea. And again, it's not showing anything because I'm just filtering by my name. We don't have any Jeremys. Not yet anyways. But I know they would crush. Might be a little biased there, but you get the point. Anyways, that helps us keep track of how long people have been in the program for. It's all automated too, so we built out a whole automation sequence around that. And so we also have apps that message us on Slack when people reach a certain stage too. And when, like, for example, when somebody is like up for renewal, right here, and then like if they churn or if they renew or send, then we get notified there, right? So that's that. And then we welcome them in Slack. And then from there, client booked the onboarding call with the CSM. So the closer, or actually I think what we have it now, I'll have to update this a little bit too. We've been playing around with a lot of this recently. I hired a new client success manager about a month or two ago named Dawson, and he's awesome. So shout out Dawson, your G. And he's been helping me build it, like kind of rebuild the client experience too. Because it used to be really scrappy, not gonna lie, where it was like, okay, the first like few weeks were like dialed, and then it was kind of like, we kind of just like let them out on their own, and we didn't have a lot of structure after that. And so that's not good. So now we do, and I'll show you what that kind of looks like there. But anyways, Dawson reaches out, like introduces himself because he's the main point of contact for clients when they go through the program. And then he's like, hey, welcome in, super pumped to work with you. Let's book in an onboarding call where he sits down with them one-on-one and really just kind of goes, like, gives them the lay of the land, helps walk them through everything, answer initial questions they have, and give them homework to complete before a one-on-one call with me, and books in that call with me on the call that he has with them. And then from there, we're like, hey, you got to go through modules 1, 2, and 3. And so that is welcome, foundations, and top of funnel, like scripting ads, setting those up. Not launching yet, just scripting. And then that way we're speaking the same language. And then when you hop on the call with me, that's where we dial in the ads, the messaging, the positioning, and any other questions you have for me too. And so he books in that launch call with me where we're ready to rock. And then from there, again, checkpoint here, they should have completed 1, 2, 3. CSM contacts them If they cancel or have to reschedule or whatever, either my CSM or my assistant reaches out to rebook them. And then boom, do the launch call. By that, they're going to have ads that are ready to record and basically ready to rock and roll. So it takes them usually a day or two to record and get them edited, and then we launch them. And so all of this happens in basically the first week. So there's a lot going on. And then from there, onboarding is complete, right? And now we got the rest of it. And so at this point, like I said, the main reason people hire us and join the program is to solve their lead flow. They need more leads and better qualified leads. And so we do that in week 1, get the ads dialed in. And then from there, we send them through the launching. And so how to launch ads, track ads, forecast your numbers, scaling your ads, understanding how the algorithm actually works so you can use it to your advantage. And then video sales letter stuff. And again, like just really short, concise, dialed in. And then here's how to apply for an appointment setter. If you don't have a setter or you're not ready for a setter yet, then here's how to dial in your appointment setting process yourself. And if people do have setters, we actually tell them to, hey, send your setter through this training. And then that way they can learn that too. And these are all made by my old setter, who is an absolute weapon and just a menace in the DMs. And yeah, so anyways, really, really good. So if people are ready for a setter, they apply there. And then if they're not quite, so they're kind of under like 10, 15K a month, 10 to 20 usually, then we tell them, okay, get nasty yourself, get in there a little bit. And then from there, like build up the revenues. You can actually like pay a setter a decent commission so they can actually take it seriously and make enough money to be happy. And then everyone's good to go. Then retargeting ads, and then converting, some sales training, and then delivery. So we have a whole module on client delivery too. So again, all of this is just ads, then middle funnel, VSL, content strategy, retargeting ads, appointment setting, sales, and then delivery, right? So you can see I literally built my entire course just around the funnel. And so like delivery, onboarding, how to build your program out, how to build the course, coaching, community, stuff like that, and then scaling. So hiring, who to hire and when, setter, CSM, closer, leading, systems, automation, stuff like that. And then some mindset stuff. It's all really fucking crazy stuff. And then just other tools and assets. Now, most people they kind of just get to top of funnel, launch their ads, build VSL, and then hire a setter. And then they don't even really go through the rest of it, to be honest with you. So there's really not much there. And that's the point, right? Because I don't care about more information. I just want to take action and get results and make money and scale my business, and then go through the rest of it. Kind of after this, it's you go through the rest of it when you kind of need to. So it's usually pretty heavy in the first week or two, maybe the first month. And then from there, you get things dialed in, things are much smoother, and then you're pretty set there. So yeah, it's very streamlined from point A to point B, right? From point A up here to point B, where you are actually just rinsing and repeating client results and clients, and then you're good to go. So back to this, right after they complete the launch call with me, and they're good to go. We actually have a bunch of check-in calls with my CSM Dawson. And so when he books in that one-on-one launch call with me, he actually also books in the first check-in call for a week after that call with me. So this is with him, right? So it's Dawson, Jeremy, Dawson. So that's 3 one-on-ones in the first basically 2 weeks. And then from there, kind of depending on when people kind of where people are at and how much support they need, then we book in more check-in calls as needed too. And these are 15 to 30 minutes usually. Sometimes they're 60 and go a little bit longer. Really just depends on what we need to do to get things dialed. But basically, once onboarding is complete, we just want to make sure their lead flow is solved. They're booking calls, they're signing clients, and they're getting results. And so those are kind of the 4 main checkpoints we've boiled it down into. And again, it's literally just this. They're getting leads from their ads, they're booking calls, they're signing clients, and then they're delivering. And so we've really simplified it that way. And then cool, they graduate after their 16 weeks. Are they ready for Ascension? Yep. Cool. Let's get a YouTube interview dialed in, and then maybe have an Ascension conversation. Usually, like, honestly, I don't really like go for Ascensions much, because I want to just like, I don't I'm building out the backend program as we speak right now. So it's not like fully dialed in yet. So I'm not like super comfortable selling something that's not like fully fucking dialed. So anyways, if not, then Renew. It's just like an extra $500 a month after the 16 weeks for continued support right now. Again, my prices are like, we play around with these quite a bit, to be honest. So they're subject to change. So like, that's the cost of waiting, because that's like pretty cheap and it'll probably go up. So yeah, but anyways, that's kind of where we're at right now. So are they ready for Ascension? Scale's meant to get people to like 30 to 50 to 80K a month. And then from there, again, like a lot of these guys have gone a lot further. But Tom, Peyton, Adrian, they're my mastermind. And so they're absolutely ripping. But regardless, yeah, schedule a YouTube interview and then we're good to go. So that's basically what that looks like. And again, like what I want to achieve with this video is to like actually just give you clarity and transparency and like what it looks like on the back end, right? Because I understand it's like scary, and like use this in your marketing too. It's scary for people to like pay thousands of dollars without really knowing what the hell they're getting. And so I realized I haven't really done something like this in a while. And so I wanted to just kind of pull the curtain back. We still got a lot more to go here. Touch on the funnel so far, the client journey, and like some of the activation points here, the calls, and then just making sure that people are dialed in. Our client success pipeline literally mirrors this. And so onboarding pending, that means they signed up. And then when they schedule the onboarding call with Dawson, they go into here, right? We just drag them into there, or that's automated actually. And then when Dawson books in the launch call with me, then they go into here. And then after I complete the launch call with them, I post my notes in the notes section in here, and then I drag them into launch call completed. And then from there, cool. Once they launch their follower ads, then we move them into here, and then we sort them based on their bottleneck, right? And so all we're trying to do in a client success standpoint, or from a client success standpoint, is just get them from stage to stage to the point where they're simply crushing it. And then right here, graduation call scheduled. Did they ascend, or did they churn or renew, right? And so that's what that looks like. I used to have it built out a lot, but we simplified it a lot because simple scales and fancy fails. And so the best part, or the most important thing about systems and processes, is you got to keep it simple. Otherwise, it's going to get too messy, and then your systems are actually going to harm you rather than help you. And they're going to do more harm than good. And I don't want that for you. So keep it super simple. Cool. So we talked about that. With this too, like this allows for like no slippage, right? Nobody slips through the cracks, right? Because we see them every step of the way. We see where they're at. Also have automations. If somebody's stuck in a bottleneck stage for too long, it tells us. And then we can we're like, hey, they've been in for this amount of time. Like usually it shouldn't take this long to get from here to here. Reach out. Let's see what's going on. Let's get them unstuck. And so that helps a lot. Cool. We had talked about the course. One thing that's super cool too is when I was like getting absolutely swamped with stuff, I built out an FAQ sheet. So frequently asked questions. And so what's really cool is I don't know if I'll open that. There might be some like stuff. Like I don't want this link, for example. I don't want you guys joining my Slack right now. If I scroll down, you're gonna see that. So there might be some stuff in there, and I don't want to do that. But regardless, there's an FAQ sheet so people can look at frequently asked questions and see like what other people are asking, and then they can get their answers immediately. And they don't have to wait to like message you and wait until you get back to them, right? We try to get back to people as soon as possible. However, like that just makes it much more scalable. And then, yeah, you can build an FAQ sheet today too, and that'll help you a lot. And so that saves a lot of time with just like redundant questions that are just repeated all the time. And then the AI ad scripter is an absolute weapon too. Cool. Now let's talk about the coaching. So we've got, can I open the calendar? Let's see. Yeah, cool. All right. So this is what the calendar looks like. These times are in Pacific because I'm on the west coast of Canada. And yeah, so anyways, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have one call a week, every single week, or one call a day every single week of the weekdays, Monday to Friday. And then sometimes we have guest calls. So for example, like yesterday, this one was hosted by one of my clients, Patrick Hong, who is actually right here. Account's gone turbo viral. Now we're 20,000 followers away from 1 million followers on Instagram. And so he hosted a training on what do you think? How to make your content way better. And he did content audits for all of my clients and ripped their Instagrams apart, ripped their content apart, gave them tons of really good feedback. So that's an awesome example of like a guest call. And then I hosted my ads and marketing training right after. And on that one, I talked about ads. I broke down like literally step by step how I scaled from 0 to 7 figures in less than a year, and everything I did at each specific stage. And so that was really, really valuable too. On Tuesdays, we have sales coaching with Austin. So Austin Medlin is our sales coach, one of them anyways. And he's taken over 7,000 sales calls as a closer. He's helped his clients sell over $100 million of online coaching. And he's sold, I think, over 7 million like personally on calls. And so he's an absolute weapon. He scaled his online coaching business to about 170,000 a month, I think, over the last year since starting. And so he hosts every Tuesday coaching call on sales. So again, like we help our clients with ads to get leads and setting to book calls, and then he helps them close them. And so it's awesome. And then on Wednesdays, we have appointment setting hosted by one of my old setters who, like I said, is an absolute weapon and just, rips apart your conversations, gives you live feedback and coaching. And then my CSM Dawson hosts Thursdays on delivery operations. So how to, like literally all this stuff, how to build really good programs, how to deal with nightmare clients, how to build like client success systems and all that kind of stuff, and just how to get your clients better results. And so Dawson used to work for another coaching business, helped them get to about like 250K a month. He was the first CSM on the team, and then ended up hiring and leading a team of 5 CSMs under him as the client success director. And so he's an absolute weapon, really, really sharp, brilliant mind. So that's really, really valuable there. And then on Friday coming up, every week we have the sales lab with my closer, Matthias. I've got some interviews on my YouTube channel with him actually too, so you can check that out. He's awesome and really smart. So he does like call reviews and just like sales role play and objection handling and stuff like that. And then also before that at 8 a.m., another one of my clients who trains up appointment setters, and he actually used to be a setter for one of my clients, Adam. And let me see if I can find where Adam's at. But anyways, he used to set for Adam and helped Adam go from 5K a month to 50K a month with his fitness coaching business. Oh yeah, right here. So that is a bit of an older one where you only got to 30K a month. But we actually did one when we were in Marbella together in Spain at one of my client retreats. We sat down and did another one. I don't know where it is, but regardless, he used to set for Adam, and then now he trains up setters. Oh, right here, this one. And so now let's see. Yeah, there he is. Absolute weapon. Shout out Adam. So now he trains up appointment setters, and that's where a lot of our clients get setters from. And so he started with me actually, like Leon a few months ago, and now he's absolutely ripping. He scaled from like, I don't know, a few grand a month. I think he just had like 7K a month a few months ago, joined Summit Scale to scale his own business, and now he's scaled to 7 figures, like so he's ripping. So he trains up, or he's doing a guest call as well. So anyways, we do a lot of group coaching. Each one's on a specific topic too, which is great. So it's not just like general Q&A. Usually there's like 15, 20 people on the calls. So you actually have a lot of opportunity to ask like questions, and we go really deep too. I go for 90 minutes as well, so we can actually have a lot of time to really dive in and go deep on specific topics. And then, so yeah, those are the group calls. And then, like I said, huge like one-on-one component as well. We had raised our prices a little bit to provide more support, and it's just been phenomenal. We attract better clients on the front end, and then we get them better results because we can get them better support. And and the maths, which is important. So yeah, we got that. And then let's talk about the community. So kind of show you like the wins channel here. Again, it's pretty disgusting, and yeah, like I don't even have to go. Peyton just bought a dream car. He went from like 15K a month to 150K a month last year when he joined the program. So he's absolutely ripping. Galert, he's crushing too. But anyways, with that said, when it comes to the community, obviously being around like-minded people is so important, and being around people that push you and raise your standards of performance is so important, right? And so we have lots of different channels in my Slack. So we got announcements, appointment setting questions, content questions, delivery questions, like fitness coaching stuff, because we have a lot of fitness coaches, general, so just random stuff. Kelowna Mastermind, I'm hosting a client retreat at the end of June coming up. So yeah, if you want to come. First time ever, we've actually opened it up to non-clients. We only have like 2 or 3 spots left actually before we hit our cap of 50. So it's going to be absolutely disgusting. Marbella, Miami, those are just old ones. And then some team stuff, sales questions, wins, YouTube, and VSLs. And so when people have questions, we actually ask them to post in here, and then we go in and answer them. So that way, we don't rob other people of the answer to questions that they might have, but also we can export a lot of the data from these Slack channels and rip it through some AI to actually help us update the FAQ sheet. So it's an ongoing basis, and we just have that automated basically, or delegated with the assistant that does that on a regular basis. And so that's huge. The community is incredible. Like client retreats are so much fun. And that's like, this was in Marbella. I think if you go to my channel, nah, we're not going to go through that, but I have a video going over the Marbella client retreat. You should check that one out. It's going to be sick. We got one from Miami that we just hosted recently coming up too. And it's just so much fun getting people in person that you have like met on Zoom calls, you've been working with and stuff like that. It's just like next level to be able to actually like go deep with them and build that in-person connection, because the in-person energy is just so different. So yeah, with that said, yeah, we just announcements, wins, questions, update the FAQ sheet, pretty straightforward. Now let's talk about the client experience, because there's gonna be some really good, really valuable stuff I'm gonna share with you right now. Just stuff, like I said, that I've learned over working with hundreds of clients and having some failed clients and just having bad experiences myself in other programs, and then just hearing time and time again from literally every single one of our clients who has gone through a program, been burned because it sucked, and they just probably just taught them organic, said, oh yeah, just make more content to go viral or send more DMs. And like, it doesn't fucking work. It sucks, right? And like every single one of our clients has gone through other programs before, because we don't work with beginners, right? And so like I hear a lot of poor feedback from a lot of other programs, and it sucks because it makes people more like hesitant and resistant to obviously working with us, because they're like, oh, it's just another one of those, right? And so that's not very fun, and it makes things kind of difficult and not that pleasant. And so anyways, like, well, I mean, you can hear from all these people, right? This one right here, right here, Ben would be a great example. Watching this one would be great. He went from 0 to 20K a month in 90 days, after being absolutely destroyed by an organic marketing coach who promised the world, charged them way too much money, and then the program was dog shit. That would be a really good one. He literally reached out to like 10 of my clients before joining, asking them, hey, what was it like? And then they're all like, dude, you got to do it. So then he pulled the trigger and now he's crushing. And so anyways, he was in Miami with us. That's where we recorded this one actually. And yeah, you can see there's the Miami villa, and he's actually gonna be coming to Kelowna at our next mastermind. That's where I live. And yeah, it's gonna be nuts. So anyways, there's that. But the client experience, like, let me just make me a little bit bigger here. So when it comes to building a really good program and delivering a really good like client experience, there's a few things you want to actually nail down, right? If you think about it too, these principles never change. And when you like base everything on principles, then regardless of like algorithm updates and like market trends shifting, the principles will always remain the same. You want to deliver results as fast as humanly possible with as least amount of effort on their end as possible. And so if you audit your program every quarter, every few months, something like that, let me just make sure we're in focus here. There we go. That's going to allow you to look for blind spots and to see what's wrong with your current way that you're doing things, or just look for room for improvement anyways, right? And so when you do that, that's going to really help you just kind of like look from the right lens and the right perspective into your business and your program, your delivery process, to see what's missing and to see, okay, is this too bloated? Does it take too long to deliver what they're paying for? Does it take too much of our effort or like their effort to actually get the results? How can I make this better and faster and cheaper for them to actually go from point A to point B? And another thing too, this is really important, is like, you're not just selling a program. You're not selling just like a transformation. You're selling a new identity for themselves, for them as a client, right? Because when they join, like the transformation happens at the transaction. And so that's why like your content, your marketing, your sales process is so important. But then making that so consistent and congruent and smooth with your onboarding process is so key, because you want to make sure that they have a consistent experience from the first time they see your ad to the last time they work with you as a client. You want to make that just super smooth and consistent. Otherwise, there's going to be incongruencies and it's not going to be that good of an experience. And so it's important that you have that really dialed in. And when you build out the systems, then like I said, you go from people dependent to process dependent, allowing you to be a lot better and sharper with how you actually deliver results and like the process that you take people through. And so one of the lessons that I learned recently was I used to have an old client success manager, Eduardo, who was an absolute legend. And when he left after a year, which is what he committed to start his own thing again, I was like, shit, now I got to find another like unicorn. And I kind of realized, I'm like, wow, like I don't really have many processes or systems or anything. I've been very people dependent. And when those people leave, then you're left high and dry. And so now like everything's systemized, it's documented, as you saw there, right? We got things dialed in. So like, let's say I have to hire a new CSM one day, it's going to be pretty easy to onboard them and plug them into the system because we have it all documented. And so it makes life a million times easier and makes the client experience much better too. Another thing too is like a lot of people are worried that they're going to pay you a lot of money and then like you're just going to ghost them, or like they're going to get left high and dry and just like it's going to be crickets on the other side, right? And like, to be honest, like I don't know, like a year ago, like yeah, kind of a year or two ago, like that's kind of like how I started, where it was like, cool, onboarding's dialed, get the ads running, and then I was like, cool, now just go through the rest of the program, just implement. And I was like, I kind of just like let them go on their own, because I assumed everyone was like me and they're just gonna be like, all right, let's fucking get in there, figure it out, and make shit happen. But I realized that wasn't necessarily the case. And people still had lots of questions, needed some hand holding, right? And like, even as like good as group calls can be, you still have to bring that one-on-one experience so people don't feel like just another number and they feel like an actual human. And you're building connection, like you value connections more than transactions. That's what you really have to embody with this, right? Because you don't want to just like, I want to work with like a smaller group of people for a long period of time. We all build and learn and grow together rather than like having to sign new clients all the time, right? I'd rather keep clients for a long time. And so it's a lot cheaper to do that because you already paid to get the client. And so, and it's a lot more fun too. And you get to see like huge levels of growth and success as you work with them. And so it's a really good, like, it's just really fun from that perspective too. But nonetheless, like, that's why we have the onboarding call, like within the first few days, the launch call within the first week with me. And one of the things that I said when I first started my business, I'm like, I'm not willing to sacrifice client results for scale, for just pure scale, right? And like I showed, like with my Stripe account at the start of the video, like it's not just straight up. It never is. It's like up, down, up, down, up, down. But the trajectory is up, right? Or I think the camera's flipped, so it's up and to the right. But so it's like this, right? Rather than just straight up. Now, some of those peaks, those really high months, I was like, oh shit, everything broke. And so I had to like kind of slow down, turn my ads way down, rebuild, change a few things, and then try it again and push forward, right? If you don't have ads, like you don't have that control over your business. You can't just be like, whoa, let's shut them down, let's turn them down a little bit to actually rebuild and like build the foundation stronger. And then when you're ready, you can turn it back on, you explode again, right? Most people don't have an on or off switch for their lead flow, and they don't have control over that. And they don't really have a predictable or consistent of a business as a result, right? And so again, it's just a form of leverage at the end of the day. But nonetheless, when you are like actually scaling pretty hard, there's going to be those ups and downs. There's going to be seasons of expansion and seasons of contraction. And it's important to understand that. And I have another video on my channel where I kind of break that down. And I can't remember the name, but it was probably from like 2 months ago. So you can go back and see 2-3 months ago, probably. But nonetheless, with that said, like, people want they want results faster with less effort. That's going to cost less time and money. And so if you can build your process in a way where you can deliver that without you having to sell an arm and a leg and sell your soul to that client to get them from A to B, that's how you make it scalable. That's how you make incredible client results happen at scale without burning out, without damaging your reputation, and building an incredible business that you love, that's super profitable, that makes a huge impact on your clients and everyone else around you. And so that's it for this video. I'm going to wrap things up here. I've been yapping for almost an hour now. But I'd love to hear down below in the comments what some of your biggest takeaways were from this video. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. But if you're ready to actually scale and implement everything and see what it feels like and looks like as a client going through, then you can either, like I said at the start, book a call down below, links in the description. It's a sales call, and bring your credit card. Don't waste our time. If you're ready to actually rock, do that. Or message me on Instagram if you got any questions and stuff like that. Just hit me up there. I'm pretty active on there too. And yeah, and then if you're ready to rock in the DMs, just let me know. So with that said, yeah, let us help you change your life, because I know how, like, if you check our boxes, then it's, yeah, you'll thank yourself later. But regardless, that said, appreciate you guys. Lots of love. Thanks for all the support. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.